Jama with the banger.
What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. Everybody feeling good? What's new? What's new in everybody's life?
What up?
Yeah, what up? What up?
What's good?
So we got my boy Daniel right here. Say what up to the audience, my boy.
What's up? Daniel, Papi Flay. I got a music group In the Cut. We just dropped an album called Blue. It's on all platforms. Go check that out. You feel me? That's it.
Yes, sir. Love it, man. And then we got our other boy Savante here. What's up, man?
Yo. Savante here. You know, I got a group. We got a YouTube channel that we gonna get back on. It's called LA's Most Ignorant on YouTube. Check it out. We got a couple of videos, on the channel that y'all might enjoy.
Hell yeah, man. That's what's up. I love how, so for everybody, a little background on our guest today. So we went to middle school together in New LA. Shout out the Boo Boo School.
Yeah, big time Boo Boo. Big time Boo Boo.
Bro. So yeah, I mean, hey, but the good thing that came out of the school is all of us like did something with our fucking lives. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like everybody in that school, no matter how like kind of lame it was, we all kind of making a name for ourselves out here doing what we love. And I think like the talent that came out of that school, there's in music and in athletics, whatever it is, you see people going places, which is great to see. And I love that about us, and having that background. But yeah, man, let's just get into music, man. I guess Danny, you could start off, bro. What kind of drove that passion for you? When did you start finding interest in music, and when did you start making your own?
I'll probably say like going to church and hearing the choir and the band. My dad dropping me off at school and having the big ass fucking subwoofers in the back of the truck. Like I've always been around music, man, and I've been making music for about 2 years. I started off writing, and then I started rapping and stuff, and then that's when I kind of got into producing and engineering. So maybe about 2 years.
2 years. Okay. That's what's up. And you know what? Now that you're saying that, I think I remember, bro, like when you get picked up from school, you'd have music bumping, bro. Straight up. I do remember that. So what's your favorite category of music, man? Would hip hop, rap, R&B, whatever? What's your
I'm gonna have to probably go with rap. There's so many people out here, like so many options to choose from. Future for sure. Lil Baby, Young Dolph, Key Glock. Like those are some of my favorites right now. Nipsey Hussle, Down Kennedy, Larry June. R&B is nice too. I'll probably Daniel Caesar, Kehlani.
It's great.
You feel me? Her, Chris Brown.
Absolutely. It's interesting you mentioned, Future, for instance, and he's in the ATL kind of trap rap game. And I felt like he's like king of modern rap where we're at now. Him and Young Thug at least gave like most of the influence to that. And I know with TJ, he's from Charlotte, North Carolina. So you got the baby, and like TJ, like to speak on that, bro, in the background with the music.
Yeah, the baby's my guy, man. Like that's the baby, J. Cole. Like I feel like the South, the area we've talked about before, is just really up and coming. A lot of young artists. Just a lot of overall, I think, energy here and like business opportunities, stuff like that when it comes to the music industry. So I'm curious, like in regards to, you talked about some of your favorite artists. What are some of the things specifically about them that you appreciate? Do you care more about sound or lyrics? Do you care more about, composition or, voice? Like, what are some of the things that stand out to you when it comes to good kind of music?
For Future, it's definitely like just that how his sound is different. And with Larry June and Dom and Nip, they're rapping, they got that swag, they're from where we're from, and they put people on game, and they're always dropping knowledge and gems on people. And a lot of those beats have samples in it. So they'll take old classic R&B songs or jazz and, you know, mix that with their style, which I think is pretty unique.
Savante, you can hop in here too, bro. I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Hey, shout out to North Carolina. I have my family from out there, so you know I already know the influence of Baby and all that.
Yeah.
Shout out to the
Queen City,
North Carolina, all the people out there. But shoot, like Nipsey, like Daniel was saying, Nipsey be dropping gems. R.I.P. him. You know, that was personally my favorite rapper. You know, the way that he would I guess the way I would say he was patient about writing his music and releasing his albums. So you know, that's one thing I've involved in my life. You know, patience. You know,
patience. I like that.
Yeah.
So with you and music and implementing that patience, how do you describe that, like with your overall work ethic and everything like that? Are you kind of like a perfectionist? Like, I know there's so many artists out here that's like, you have it good, it sounds good, but it's like, you obviously know what you want to hear, how you want it to sound. So take me through that process.
So like, I'm like, right now I've been on the wave. I'm pretty sure y'all heard the Blue Bloods plan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. They've been really popping lately. And you know what, I add that to my work, that's like, you know, because I was working a shitty job at Office Depot. I had to get out of that. So like after Nip passed, you know, I started like focusing on energy more, and like, you know, the more patient you are, the more stuff is, you know, gonna come to you. So I ended up quitting that job, getting a better one, getting a new car, Challenger, Mopar Gang, of course. But you know, I believe, you know, if you're real patient, you believe in what you want to do and what you want to get, it's gonna come to you regardless. You know, as far as rappers go, you know, I know we always want like, oh, we need the next album here, you know, the next week. But, you know, I believe the more patient the artist is with their album, the better quality it is.
No doubt, man. I agree with that. TJ, how you feel about that, bro?
No, I totally agree. I feel like when it comes to what you're looking for, everyone has their own individual taste. A lot of that has to do with where you're from, your background, your experience, what you're used to. I mean, if somebody who's never heard or been accustomed to, let's say, Bollywood music, hears it for the first time, they have their, you know, certain things kind of signal it. Like, for example, me and my mom were watching TV the other day, and there was a commercial that came on, and it was like a iPhone commercial, right? And this lady's like dropping her phone. It's basically about the phone case. And they play like a Bollywoodish kind of music in the background. So my mom, you know, she's cooking, she's looking, she goes right, looks at the TV, and it just kind of like automatically just kind of connects, right? And I think there's a lot of people that are like that. It's not just music and listening to songs, but in tunes and little things like that you don't really think of in life that are really important. I think music kind of bridges a lot of things together. But I'm curious, like, if you both could speak on how you think music, you know, impacts communities and brings people together. And if, you know, there's ways in which we can educate people more, you know, on really what this music's about when it comes to hip hop, when it comes to certain kinds of music, what exactly, you know, is the message behind the beat?
Well, that's a good question.
Yeah, there's a good message behind the beat. I like that.
Yeah. I would say, you know, the reason people deliver the way they deliver on the track is because of the message they get while they're writing that causes them to push that out to their audience. You know, when you get like, it's all on keys too. Like if somebody's playing some sad, mellow guitar melody, you know, like obviously that's not gonna make you happy or make you vibe out. That's gonna make you feel you know, sad or down. And then you have like the drums. If the drums are slow, you might be in a mellow or Philly feel mood compared to you speed it up. And now it's like trap and everybody's turn, or it's a mosh pit, like Juice World, right? Me and my homie were talking about that earlier. The guitars and like the deep piano keys and how he's singing and the message he's conveying, it all comes together to give you that depressed emo feel compared to Young Dolph, Key Glock, or The Baby, where you're bobbing your head, you're jumping, and you're having a good time. You know, the drums, the keys, and the strings, those are the key components that deliver that message.
What are your thoughts, Savante?
To follow up on what Daniel said, you know, like songs like there's certain songs, you know, that give you like a fresh air, like, you know, Hip Hop Parade. I'm pretty sure we all heard that song, that Hip Hop Parade. You know, that brings like
Oh, yeah.
good moods, good moods. You know, it's like a refreshing type of mood. And with like, I guess a song that like bring you down and like get you like, say you like you one of a close friend or something passed away, like I'm missing you. That gets you to reflect. It makes you sad, but then it's like, you know, we're always reflect on like the times we had with that certain person.
Yeah.
So, you know, music is, you know, damn near everything. You know, if it wasn't for music, you know, where the hell would we be at? You know, music is a must.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
And just like talking about the whole, I guess you could say, journey of music, people don't realize the first form of American art in music was jazz, and that was from West African roots, you know, in New Orleans. And then I feel like that became gospel, blues, uh, rock music, rap, pop, R&B, all these things. So if you go back to the roots of that and where music really came from, it was always ingrained in the Black community and culture. And a lot of the times you have even like an Elvis who jacked that. You know, Eminem says in one line, like Elvis jacking it to basically make money off of an art style that's not originally his. So how do you feel about the idea of artists kind of copying one another, or just kind of taking things that's not necessarily their own?
I mean, copying is gonna happen. You know, like you remember when Future came out with that certain beat, like when Beast Mode. I forgot how the beat would sound, but it was a certain specific beat. If you notice, certain artists would always put that certain beat in their music too. So I believe, you know, it's cool to like steal a little something from a certain artist, but if you just downright copying someone, then you know that's a problem, because you know you're trying to be something you're not. So if you like trying to like, you know, grab a little something off a certain artist to, you know, help you better perform, but add your own little flavor mix to it, that's a good thing. But if you over here just, you know, trying to be something that you're not, you know, I ain't gonna sit well with it. I'm not gonna listen to you. You know, you're trying to be something you're not. 100%.
Daniel, how do you feel about that, man?
I would say, of course, the basis of music is being inspired and, you know, taking little things here and there from like the people before you, right? So as long as you kind of apply that to your own character and have your own original thing, then I think that's completely fine. And in some cases, people are honoring those before them. It's not always like a still copy thing. It's like you idolize that person. So it's more from like a respect point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could even translate that idea to sports too, right? You had Kobe.
Yeah. Kobe and
trying
Mike.
to be Jordan.
Yeah, Kobe and Michael.
Now you got everyone trying to be Curry, trying to strap up from three, you know? And it's just
teams
like,
trying to copy the Patriots.
Teams trying to get everything like that. And unfortunately, we got passed down a bum-ass Cam Newton from TJ's Panthers. Thanks for that. But
don't do Cam like that, man. Don't do Cam like that.
Don't do Cam like that.
Y'all ain't give Cam much to mess with. Y'all just read up on free agency, so y'all should do something.
That's true. We didn't give him a lot. Well, I mean, the Pats did. They gave him some. So now if he hasn't played good this year, then, you know.
Yeah, then it's all him. Yeah, I'm the biggest Pats hater in the world. You can ask Pierce. I hate the Patriots, but, you know. But I'm going to give respect to respect is due. Coach Belichick the GOAT. I'll give it to him. But, you know.
Yeah, bro. And you play football. So tell us about that, bro. Just being able to play football and everything, like your journey with that. You know,
that's really like a family oriented thing. Like it's a big family, because, you know, if one side of the ball don't play well, you're going to lose. If the offensive line don't play well, you're going to lose. I was fortunate enough to win, you know, the city section championship our graduation year.
Nice.
Man, shout out to the whole Fairfax football team 2016. But, you know, that was different. That was a good experience, man. Like, we all bonded as a group. But, you know, I feel like we could have did more. You know, I'm not trying to bash anybody, but, you know, our coaches weren't the best. You know, because personally, we had the number 3 ranked running back in the state of California, and he didn't get not one Division I offer.
What?
You know, yeah. You know, if you went to a school like St. John Bosco or like Mater Dei, he would have sure got out. But, you know, messing with us, I feel like we was holding them back. I have like maybe 8 teammates I feel like that should still be playing football right now, either NFL or D1. But I guess whoever's watching this, I say, if you're going to go to play high school football, in a way you got to be selfish, but in a way I get everybody wants to win. But if you're trying to like, if your main goal is I want to go to the NFL, you have to be selfish. So if you have the opportunity, go to a St. John Bosco, go to a Bishop Gorman, a Narbonne, Mater Dei, and ball out. Because, you know, I hate to say it, there's coaches out there that all they care about is winning. And, you know, once you're done, you know, they're just going to be done with you. I mean, well, you got some coaches.
That's a fact.
While you'll have some coaches is, you know, they won't give a damn how many games they win as long as their seniors all go to college for free. You know, that was my take on it. And, you know, the way I looked at my coaches is, you know, that's kind of messed up. We had two coaches that cared about our futures. And, you know, ain't really much we could do. You know, I got one offer, but I had to turn it down because I messed up my shoulder. But, you know, if any kids is out there, you know, be greedy. I hate to say it, for a team sport like football, you got to be greedy. Even basketball sometimes. But, you know, football especially, you really got to be greedy because it's so hard out here to get one offer. It's crazy.
Did you see that with you, TJ?
I saw similar things. I'm sure, Paris, you saw similar things in coaching and stuff like that. Like, I think like it just depends. Like, I think, you know, you get some good coaches, you get some bad coaches. Some people just like different personalities. Some individuals got to their position not really through their own abilities or their own coaching or, you know, teaching style, really more because they have, you know, they're well connected and they, you know, their father coached or something like that. And so I think in those cases, you got like this kind of a level of like, it's more important, like their career is more important, like their life is more important. What happens with them going forward is more important than the team, than the kids that they're trying to groom. And I just think there's a lot of things. And, you know, we had a conversation last week with my uncle when we were talking about like education, we were talking about things like that. And honestly, it's really a mix of things. Like a lot of the time, you know, coaches just kind of leave you alone, you know, when it comes to those things, like going to school, and they expect you to, you know, you do X, Y, and Z. And then, you know, it'll come like as of a shock to them, almost like a kid's not doing or performing well. And they just, you know, they have to automatically, you know, cut them off the team or like do something like that, or like they go on probation or whatever, suspension. And instead of like working with that student throughout the actual season and trying to make sure that that individual's grades are up, or that individual is, you know, whatever's going on personally in their life isn't impacting them on the field. There is none of that. There's no real like understanding of, you know, athletes, because we're all human at the end of the day. And these are also like, we're also kids at the time. Like we're all high school kids. Like we're all like, this is when our brain's getting wired. Like we're learning new information. We're taking in new things. So we need to be learning these things. We need to be groomed more respectfully. And I think that's really what differentiates great coaches, I think, and good coaches is that, or great GMs in like the NFL and good GMs. Is like you've got a great GM, in my opinion, will make all the tough moves, has to make the tough decisions that help the team make money and help the team win games and build a strong fan base and win championships. But it does so in a way where it builds respect so that every player that individual lets go wants to come back and retire, you know, for that team for a one-day contract. That's how you know a GM and an owner are great, because that's the kind of attitude you want. You want someone who's like, okay, I know that I'm towards the end of my career, or I know I'm not living up to my end of the bargain. I understand that. Just like be communicative with me. And if you got to let me go, but just don't shut the door on my face on the way out.
Yeah.
And I think that's really the thing. Sure. It's the way about it. I sometimes wonder if they just don't think that they need to give the time and the effort. And so they just feel like, okay, we don't need to do that second part where we're supposed to care about our kids. Because like you said, some coaches care about seeing seniors, you know, go off into college, and others really don't even know what they do when they go to college. And I've seen both. I've seen, you know, coaches that care and know what's going on. And then also coaches who just, you know, don't really care. And they just care more about, you know, the stars in their team. They care more about getting them, whether it be even helping them, you know, get into school. Sometimes not even that. Sometimes it's just more like credibility for them, like where their next coaching job is, you know? So,
Yeah, and to add up on that, my bad, Pierce, go ahead.
No, go.
Oh, yeah, and to add on that, you know, if you notice the players the coaches that truly care about their players, I feel like you can kind of see that in certain teams, like a Narbonne, a Bosco, Mater Dei. They play hard, and, you know, because, you know, this coach is going to take care of me at the end of the day. You know, at the end of the day, I believe, like, if you're a coach and you really, really care about winning and stuff, you have to care about your students. You have to care about your players as well. If you don't care about them, it's going to show at the end of the day. I've had, like, 2 teammates that have passed away. And, you know, I go to the funeral and, you know, my head coach ain't there. Or my assistant coach ain't there. And it's all like, wow, we really just, you know, pieces to you, you know?
Yeah.
If you're a family, you're supposed to be glued like a family. So, you know.
Exactly.
Go
That's
ahead.
horrible, man.
Yeah.
It's like, and like Daniel, you hooped, right?
Yeah.
So did you experience that with coaches and just kind of people that didn't really give a shit about you, or you know, maybe focus on just one person in particular and pick their favorites and stuff like that?
I've had coaches who pick favorites, but even though they did, like I still took lessons from playing on that team and from my coach that helped me in life,
Okay.
like past basketball. And that's one thing I could say about being in the Crenshaw program and playing at Fairfax, their program too. They they teach you things that you could carry with you for the rest of your life. So that's
That's
one thing I
great.
took from playing sports.
You know, I know you guys played in the LA City section. There was a really good article about it in the LA Times maybe like 2 weeks ago. They talked about how a lot of these kids that are in those areas, like whether in the Fairfax district, Crenshaw area, Mid City, wherever it is, they're no longer going to those local schools. They're just getting recruited to go to these private schools that they don't even
Yeah.
never have heard about, and they're
Yeah.
taking all these kids away from the community. And
The All
that's
American.
and yeah,
Yeah.
bro. And you look back at it, that there was so many Hall of Fame athletes from all these schools within the city district, and the LA city district was known nationwide. Everyone knew about
Yep.
it and all
Mhm.
that stuff. And it's like they're really taking away that communal aspect is dying. And I know that I think I don't know if it was Dorsey or some school was really trying to get that back. They hired an ex NFL player to come and coach. That's his alma
Long Beach
mater.
Poly.
Paul,
Is
yeah,
Long Beach Poly?
I
Yeah.
think it could be, yeah. So I think that's great that they're doing that because, like, I had my one homie. He lived all the way in Torrance, and he went to school at Sierra Canyon. And I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, that's like a 2 hour
That's
drive
far.
every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, it's
That's
so
Hey.
crazy.
far, and
And
he
you'll
has
be
no
surprised what those
idea.
coaches will say to you. Those coaches will really sound like they'll take care of you, and they do. From like all the homies I have, they go to like a Sarah or like yeah, even Sarah. Sarah's in Gardena.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
I don't know if you would consider that a city section school, but you go to Sarah, they care. They really care, and like you can see, you got kids going to Alabama out of Sarah, kids going to USC from Arbonne. You can name the schools. It's crazy how the city section wants fairness and like they want to recruit players, but it's all like, if y'all not putting out what the private schools are giving out, I'm not going to want to be here. I used
yeah,
to not think that way. I used to think, oh, the private schools, they're just a bunch of, rich boys. They get everything handed to them. But nah, it's, that's hard work.
yeah.
You don't get,
It's like a
stuff's going to happen.
reward, kind of,
Yeah, you don't get
exactly. And
rewarded for
you
working
gotta
hard.
you
Yeah.
you gotta you gotta be a part of the program and platform that gives you or that gets you to the next level and gives you the
Exactly.
tools to get there.
Exactly.
And as sad as it is to say, it's like the reality of where we've come into. And that's even for colleges. A lot of kids that normally would go to UCLA or USC, like the top studded athletes, they're dipping out of state. They're going to, like, even Johnny Juzang, you see him in the NCAA tournament at UCLA. He went to Kentucky first. And
Mm-hmm.
then luckily came back and helping UCLA make their Final Four run right now. But a ton of kids just went out of state. And it's like, why is that happening? Is it
Yeah.
lack of recruiting, lack of opportunity, lack of media engagement, whatever it is, because they always say the thing about the West Coast times are always late for the East Coast audience, so they don't get a lot of
Yeah.
exposure. Like Dame Dollar, everyone's like he should be top 5 in NBA. He's like the superstar, but he plays on the Portland Trailblazers. Their games are on
Yeah.
like 10:30 in New York, East Coast, Boston, whatever. So it's
Yeah.
like it's just kind of crazy how that works. But the thing was great about like you guys going back to music is a universal thing, right? So anyone could hear it around the world. You put this thing
Yep.
out there for everybody to hear. So do you guys really kind of have the sense of like, I'm going to do my art, I'm going to do me, fuck a formula, I'm going to just do what I love and produce to the best of my abilities and hopefully people listen? Are you confident in that aspect, or do you kind of like, no, I kind of need to stick a little bit to the formula, what's popping in the mainstream media, lifestyle, culture, all that stuff, or like talk a little bit about that?
I would say like I do my own thing, like the reason there's like millions and billions of people all over the world, and out of those millions and billions, somebody's gonna like what you do. Of course, there's gonna be people who talk down, not like it. Rejection is a part of life, and you can't let that stop you from pushing. what you love to do instead of trying to cater to one crowd and hate what you do for the rest of your career. And then when you're done, you have to hear it for the rest of your life. So I do me. I remember there's a song called Tings on my album featuring my friend Viku. And it was my little brother's idea to do like a dance hall, passion fruit type of vibe. I didn't want to do that, but he was like, step out of your comfort zone and try something. So we did that track, and it ended up getting played in over a dozen countries and over like 70,000 plays compared to all the other trap rap stuff we're doing. So it's cool to step out the box and try something new.
That's great. How you feel, Savante?
Yeah, you got to get uncomfortable in certain situations. If you stay comfortable, then you're not progressing anywhere. But there is a time and place, where you do have to plan, but eventually you do have to like get out of your comfort zone to, progress in life. If that's like saying that's basically like saying I was going to stay at my old job, for the rest of my life. I wasn't going to get nowhere. I had to take a chance and quit. And then, whatever happens, happens. Just, you got to go with the flow, Eventually, like I said, you do got to plan. Planning is like for like family events and stuff like that. And like for stuff that's going to happen. But other than that, if you don't step out your boundaries and, get uncomfortable, you're just going to stay at the same place you at.
For sure, man. And betting on yourself too, right? You believe in your abilities, you believe in yourself, double down, man, throw it all in. And I mean, I think that's the best way, because you don't want to be in that mindset where it's like, okay, if I fuck this up, I could kind of fall back on this thing. It's more like, no, I'm gonna make this shit happen no matter how long it takes, no matter who I gotta go through, whatever it is. And I think that's what I see in you two for sure. You guys definitely seem to have that drive and motivation and passion. And I kind of want to talk. You guys mentioned Nip a lot, and I kind of just want to get into this. The idea of community, the idea of mentorship and idolizing people. So just kind of talk about like you growing up around Nipsey Hussle and the whole marathon movement and everything like that, and then the effects that happened after his death, like until now, 2 years later, just like was the other day, right? Wasn't it like the 2 year anniversary?
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Exactly.
I mean, growing up, my stepdad, he from that area, so like he knew Nipsey's brother and everything. So, being able to just know that, he around the corner, like he really staying here, because most celebrities, they don't stay where they come from. Take Chief Keef, for example. He don't stay in Chicago no more. But knowing that the fact that this dude had the opportunity to leave. He had the opportunity to say, fuck it, I'm leaving. I ain't got to deal with it no more. But he kept coming back, giving people jobs. People that shouldn't be having jobs kept giving them jobs. And, just giving back to the community, having little mini sessions at little pop-up shops by his store. And, mentorship, I can say he's one of the best mentors, in the LA Crenshaw community, because, like I said, he didn't have to stay here. And it's just sad that, he got took out by, somebody that, he was around, probably, sometime in his life. And, he said in one of his songs, a person that you smoking a joint with, you're the one that smoked. And, that's crazy. I just found that, it was heartbreaking. I ain't gonna lie. I cried when he passed. I was trying to keep positive, and then, I got the news, I broke down. That was my favorite rapper. Still is my favorite rapper, but, all love to Nip. He did it. He did it. He's still doing it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I wish you down know how you feel, man.
I'm from there, actually. Like, I grew up there, straight down Slauson. I lived down the street from the store and everything. And he would always come up to, I went to Crenshaw, so he'll always be up there at my school and everything, walking around, taking flicks, passing out tapes and stuff. And just to see him buy that corner and own that, and building his community was a great thing, and still is, because us coming from that district, that's somebody we looked up to. That was like, he's from where we're from, and he's up there, so we could be there too,
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad to see, somebody come back and help, and they get taken out in that same place. That's a sick thing. But he left behind a whole legacy to influence a generation of people. So
yeah, man.
Well, to talk. Sorry for cutting you off.
No, go ahead, man.
To talk a little bit more about kind of what his legacy means to you both. You know, musically, when it comes to community activism, leadership roles that he had, and also just kind of what are some of the things, like I feel like every generation has these
yeah, I'll go get him
you
after
know,
I'm done with this.
that go through these things. all good. Hop in. Every generation I feel like has these has these situations, you know, and, you know, sadly too much in the Black community in general, but I feel like that have an impact on residents of, you know, y'all talk about Crenshaw, but, you know, go down the list of, you know, Brooklyn, you think about all the people that have been hurt and impacted by different, you know, not just death, but also from incidents that have occurred. You know, we had Kobe, obviously, a year ago. And then you had a situation with Tiger Woods just, you know, which could have been something as well. So there's these kind of moments that are very shocking. So just speak on, you know, Nips, his legacy, you know, what he means to y'all on a personal level. And then what are some of the ways that you're like following in his footsteps and doing kind of his work?
Oh, for one, I say for one, like me following and doing his work will be patience, you know, trying to be positive, you know, try to keep all that negative energy out. And, you know, can you ask that first question one more time, boss?
No, I was just, more about kind of what does Nipsey's legacy mean to you specifically?
Oh, so, I mean, man, his legacy, I could probably go all day about that. But, man, that's just, you know, being persistent, being thorough, you know, being real, you know, don't try not to keep, you know, that negative energy around you. Like, people that's going to bring you down, keep you at the same spot where you at all the time. You know, try to evolve, build more friendships with people, you know, love more, you know, and always, you know, one thing after his death that I said I was going to do, I was going to travel more because me, you know, I really ain't traveled that much, but, you know, ever since he died, I've been traveling a lot. You know, I got an upcoming trip to Hawaii soon. Right, so that's my thing. You know, get out, see the world because, you know, you don't know how long you're going to be here. So I guess that's what his legacy is bringing to me.
Absolutely.
Daniel, what would you say to that?
I would say his legacy means a lot, you know, and some of the things I took from it, you know, being a hustler, being your own boss, and, you know, dropping game to help others and highlighting the luxury and that hard work pays off. But you're not going to get to, you know, that destination if you don't put the work in and you don't sacrifice, you know. So that's one thing we've all learned from life. You guys being in college, you learn like you have to study, do all these different things, or you're not going to walk across that stage and get your degree. You're not going to graduate. Like the farther you go in life, the less excuses you can make for yourself because the world doesn't care. And that's definitely one big thing that I took from his music and his legacy.
Wow, I love that, man. I love this. This is great, man. Because this is such facts, you know, that not a lot of people are not only willing to talk about, they just like don't realize, and they're so complacent in the idea that they think things will come to them, and that's not how the world works. You got to go get it. You got to grab it. No matter, you got to piss people off. You got to do this and that. Who gives a shit at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, you're gonna lose people on the way. So,
yeah. If people aren't supporting you in your vision and your goals and your aspirations, they're not worth it. Bottom line.
Exactly.
Bottom line. And it's their loss. It's their loss too. They're not along for the ride.
Exactly.
Their loss. I'm gonna get successful. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna achieve my goals and live my life how I want it, man. And I love how you talked about just traveling. And that's something that I encourage everybody to do. Always travel, see the world. So many different people in this world that we call our home, this planet Earth, and nobody's the same. Everyone has their own thoughts and opinions and ideas. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. It's all about what you make of it, and just listening to different people with different ideas and thoughts and experiences, that makes you more wise, and that enables you to kind of formulate your own opinions and alter how you really see life as a whole, I guess you could say. But yeah, definitely cool, boys. Well, man, I think let's end it on that note. That was like such a deep thought, and I loved it. And I just want to say to the audience, shout out again, Daniel Savante coming on our show. check out their guys' music. Please support all you can. I'll let you guys kind of say what you guys want. A little outro for yourself.
Well, I'd like to thank y'all for having me on here, man. Savante, PG, bro. It's good to see y'all for real. We got to catch
You too,
up.
man. You too.
We need a little New LA reunion.
We will get it soon.
We need a little.
TJ, thank you for having me, bro. Appreciate it.
Of course, man. It's a pleasure to meet you.
I had some good questions for sure. You feel me? So
yeah, I definitely wanted to kind of learn about, Paris talked about y'all, and I'm glad that we got you on and really talk about these issues on a deeper level.
Yeah, nice to meet you, TG. And shoot, whenever y'all need me to come back on here, man, I'll for sure come back on here. This is fun, bro.
100%, most definitely.
This is fun. I've really been into podcasts lately. I'm blessed that y'all invited me to come on here. I be watching Joe Rogan and stuff. I never would have thought this is my first podcast. So, blessings to y'all.
Hey man, we appreciate you guys. That's the bottom line is we've made this show to not only talk our shit and do what we got to do. It's more so you guys coming on, expressing your thoughts and opinions, marketing yourselves, building your own brand. And we just want to see you guys succeed in life, basically bottom line. You guys are my day one boys, no matter how long we go without seeing each other, it's all love at the end of the day, man. So
always.
It,
That's it. Big shout out to my YouTube page one more time, LA's Most Ignorant. Check us out. Be coming back with more content soon.
Go peep, everybody. Go peep, and then we'll drop it in the description.
We'll drop it in,
that doesn't catch that, but just stay tuned to more content and everything like that. And thanks again, boys.
All right, boys. Much love to y'all. Talk to y'all soon.
Much love.
Peace.
All right.
All right, bro. That was fun. Yeah, those are my homies, man. 6th grade, ride or dies, day ones. And I haven't seen them in the flesh in like a pretty good minute. It's been a pretty good minute, but that's what is the blessing of social media and interacting online and everything like that. We were able to always stay in contact, always see what we're doing in life, our passions, our aspirations. And like he was saying, both of them, Daniel and Savante, they were both saying that, at the end of the day, it's who you surround yourself with, what you want to do, set that standard for your own life. And like in the good words of Nipsey Hussle, the marathon continues, man. And that's as cliche as is kind of becoming. It's a fact. It's a fact, and it's a reality that we need to all live by. Yeah. And bro, I just want to kind of get into, we're touching, hitting the Final Four with the NCAA March Madness tournament. How your bracket's doing? What's the update on that?
My bracket was good at first, man. I was leading our group in the bracket for a while, I think until the round of 8, till Elite 8, and then after that, it kind of imploded because I had Loyola. I really liked Loyola's chances, man, and then Loyola let me down. And then Oak State, Oak State let me down in another one. But what do we got now? We got UCLA playing Gonzaga. That's going to be fun to watch. I think it's interesting. I mean, I think UCLA could do it. I think the Pac-12 teams performed really well in this tournament. That's really good news for them. I mean, they really should have had 2 of the 4 teams in here, I think. I mean, obviously Gonzaga is Gonzaga, but I think, you can make a case for, Southern Cal as well. But I think you got UCLA. I'm going to take Zaga though, because I think they're having a very underappreciated season. Like, I don't think a lot of people were talking about college ball throughout the regular season just because you had the NFL going on. Then also there isn't really any major superstars that are getting like massive publicity on like Instagram and stuff like that. There's no Zions of the world, right? There's no one who's like electrifying like that. So they're just a great team. They just work really well. They're well coached. And I think they're the kind of team, that's why I had them winning the whole thing. I feel confident against UCLA. They played three really solid games. Like, they haven't been in a situation, any of those games where you were like, they're not blowing teams up like 40 points or anything, but they're like consistently winning by 10, 15, 20. And like, they're control of the game. On the other side, you obviously have, I believe, who are the 2 teams? God, I'm like dropping it right now.
Baylor and Houston.
I think I had Houston in one of them because I really liked Houston coming into the year. But Baylor is a good team as well. I would prefer it being Houston personally, because I think it'd be cool to have a Texas team. And then, Houston, like, they're just history. I think this would be this is their 6th Final Four. appearance, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So just the history of it, I don't really have a lot of love for Baylor, to be quite honest with you. So it's like I could care less about them. And I think that it's going to be a good matchup on both sides. I think Baylor's outperformed my expectations. I thought they were going to be, one of the teams. I had them in Illinois losing in like the round of 32 and 16. So I was like thinking like it could happen to Baylor again, but they've made it here. They've done their job. And now it just comes down like to the final stretch. And it's like which team's the most kind of mentally there. I feel like which team has the best chemistry always wins here. But it also is about who gets hot. So UCLA has a shot. It just seems to me like the team that gets hot, like I'm taking the team that's consistently operating like a well-oiled machine over the team that gets hot. You know what I mean? Now, if it was UCLA and Gonzaga in the finals, I think that would be very interesting. I think UCLA could upset, but I think Gonzaga wins. I think Houston wins, and I think Gonzaga wins the whole thing.
Hey man, if you are speaking that into existence right now, that'll do me very good justice because I had Zags and Houston. My Final Four was Gonzaga, Michigan, Houston, and Baylor. So I just missed Michigan. But yeah, I mean that's sick. UCLA made it. Who the fuck would have thought? I had them locked down the second round. But except for my like fan fair bracket I made, it was USC, UCLA that were about to play right now, and then I had Oregon State, which I never thought they would make it. I was super close, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And USC is like, I'm a big Trojan fan, and I thought they had matchup wise on paper a solid chance to make it a competitive game against Gonzaga, but from the start, just literally the first 3 minutes of the game, I'm like they're gonna lose. They came out flat. They looked scared. Like when you see a player playing basketball, doing dribble moves, spin moves, and just literally losing the ball, you're done. You could tell this guy's nervous. You could read it, and I think Gonzaga smelt that, and they just fed off. The dogs just went to town.
The dogs.
It's out on that shit, bro. But I got Zags, Houston, I think is going to happen. I hope it happens. Zags winning as well is my prediction. And shout out to the only other Gorham I've ever met in my entire life, not personally met, but seen, is on Houston. Justin Gorham, they're one of their best top players, which was crazy. Same spelling, everything. I'm like, what the hell? Who would have thought? I've never met another Gorham in my life. But that's dope. And
the Cougars versus the Dogs, bro.
Cougars versus
That's a hell of a finals.
It is a hell of a final. I like that. You're right. But let's get a little into this Fit of the Week real brief. Let's pull it up for everybody. So this is who do you think this is, by the way? Let me ask you that.
Jonah Hill. I don't know. That's a total guess. I can't even tell.
Be a little more burly for Jonah Hill, I think. But
maybe
Bradley Cooper.
Oh, that's Bradley. Yeah. See, there's no way I could have got that. Bradley Cooper. I need to see the hair. I need the hair.
The hair. Yeah.
If I saw the hair, I would know. Yeah, for sure.
Iconic. So here you got Harrison Ford, Indy, Han Solo. Imagine playing two iconic characters, maybe two of the top 5 iconic characters in pop culture. Indiana Jones and Han Solo. That's insane.
That's crazy. That is insane. And he also had just like an unreal acting career. I've been watching some of his films lately. And they are like even just from like the 80s and the 90s and stuff. And he's been in a lot. I think he was one of the original Jason Bournes. I'm not sure. He played either it was Jason Bourne or the other character from that other novel. I can't remember what it's called now. Let me refresh my mind. But he's just like he's been in everything. Like he's in
Jack Ryan, bro. Yeah,
Jack Ryan. I think he played the initial Jack Ryan.
Yeah, he's in a couple of Jack Ryan movies. Yeah.
Yep.
Tom Clancy, man. Yeah.
Yep.
Damn, and Blade Runner, bro. He was in so
many.
Blade
Runner. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what's crazy about Blade Runner? It was a fat
Decker
when it first dropped. Decker.
Yeah, it was terrible.
And then 10 years later, it became a cult classic, and then it became pop culture iconic.
I watched the film last weekend.
Sci-fi. Yeah. Which one did you watch? 2049.
I watched them both. I watched the original one and 2049. They had 7 different takes of the original movie. The director's cuts, like the one or the final cuts, the one that they got on HBO. But they had 7 different takes of the movie, and it's just like it's like another one of those trippy kind of movies, you know, like the aesthetics beautiful. Like it's an amazingly choreographed film. And I think the acting's great, but it's it's a weird movie. It's like one of those movies, like Dune, you know, it just comes out as like one of those weird sci-fis, but it builds that cult kind of personality over a period of time.
Yeah, I love the music and the synths and all that stuff. It sounds so cool. And if you, for instance, I saw both films in theaters because they came out with the final cut for like a 2-day thing, maybe 3 years ago or something like that. Saw it on IMAX and just like, you're like shaking in this insane environment, and you're so immersed in it, and it's so cool. I love film like that. I love film with a good soundtrack, a good score, because I think that, even speaking to Savante and Daniel today, how much music impacts people in every aspect of our lives. And without music, we wouldn't really necessarily have dancing, because what would we dance to without music? We wouldn't have even small as like a walkout song, a hype song. And music just, I guess, amplifies life. Simple as that. It amplifies life, any situation. It's a healer. It could heal us from mental disabilities, mental issues, anxiety, whatever you're having and going through. It could motivate you. It does so much good for the human mind, for everybody's livelihood, even physically. Work out to music, right? So it's just such a multifaceted aspect of our lives that without it, the world would be such a different place. But moving forward with this, bro, we got a little Serge Ibaka, Waka Flocka up in here. That seems like a comfy fit. Super Euro right here, though. This is very Parisian. Street fit here. Shout out TC. Tancred. Oh God. That guy's a character. It's something else. Love him though, but he's a character. Then we got, well, you know who this is. This is Lando Calrissian here. He's a little bit childish, you know. This guy's attitude is a little childish. But yeah, fitted for sure. I love how he has LACMA in this. I don't know where this was actually, some part of the art film festival, but that's also for all the Angelinos. LACMA is opened back up, as well as a lot of other art museums. I don't know how it is in the rest of the country, but go check out LACMA. Go have fun. It's a good time. There's a new exhibit on the television museum, which is really, really cool and interesting to see. Go check it out. And on the right, we got Olivia Culpo, former Miss Universe, current girlfriend of your boy Christian McCaffrey, ex of Danny Amendola. But yeah, bro, this fit is sick. This looks like a Andy Warhol museum in an outfit.
Basically, yeah.
Right?
Like, Andy Warhol. If Andy Warhol was an outfit, yeah.
If Andy Warhol was an outfit, this would be it. Absolutely. And then last but not least, your boy himself.
Oh yeah, C-Mag, baby, with that American Strong. I forgot what's the
Strong.
Dude, what is the brand for this? I always forget. It's like it's just so patriotic, man.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, but it's mad patriotic.
Couldn't be more white, but I love it nonetheless.
Couldn't be more white. I'm official. You know, he grew up in Colorado, bro. He grew up in Denver, man. His dad and stuff.
Let's take the time to, you know, our thoughts and prayers are with the Boulder shooting. We do not condone violence, and we're going to continue preaching on this. Gun violence in America is an embarrassment to us on a world stage. I have people telling me all the time from Australia, Japan, everywhere in Europe. They're like, "What's up with this gun violence?" And it's like, I don't want to be in those conversations anymore. We need to fix that. We need to figure it the fuck out. I was even watching the show Paradise PD today. Had a whole scoop episode on gun violence. They literally had guns for the people, which were literal guns that were talking.
I saw it. I saw the episode.
You saw that? Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
It's insane and
unreal. But it makes a lot of sense. It speaks to a problem, and I don't as much as it makes us look, you know, bad on a global stage. On a national stage, it makes us look bad. Forget to those people who don't really care about the global stage. Fine. On a national stage, death is not good. People dying is not a good thing. Aggressively finding a way to prevent that is important. And I'm like, you know me, I'm a big I'm a supporter of the Second Amendment, and it's, it is there. I mean, it just is there. Other countries don't have it. We had it in there. But you know what? The founding fathers made some things that we might disagree with, but generally speaking, the first thing they put in the Bill of Rights was, we shall not establish a religion. That prevented us from, honest Christian supremacy throughout the country, or any religion. Right? So I think it's important that we have those things in place, but I think it also says well-regulated militia. We've talked about that. That means something. That means that there is, at a certain point, let's be honest, the weapons that the state would have, they're going to be bigger than the weapons the people are going to have regardless. So really what we're talking about is preventing crime against other people. That's what we're really talking about, is self-protection. I have no problem with people protecting themselves in their house and stuff like that. And people have differences on, certain bans and not having bans. I'm just a big believer in, first step, you just got to get a federal background check. You've got to close the loopholes, regulation. I think there's nothing wrong with regulating guns. There are not a lot of Americans that are in the business of making money off of guns. I mean, there's maybe a few, and it's really the gun manufacturers that make the money. So at the end of the day, you're protecting the rights because you don't want, and the way it needs to be worded, you're making sure that the criminals don't get guns. You're making sure that thugs don't get guns. And by thugs, that's going to implicate racial connotations but I mean all people who commit, violent crime. That's what that is. That's what they should have called the white supremacists who, walked into destroyed the I'm talking about the Capitol, right?
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
Yeah,
it's the same attitude. So we need to be able to message that effectively. It's got to be about being patriotic, protecting people. It's got to be about making sure that we're doing what 95% of people want to do. Why are the 5% on this issue dictating the political outcomes when 95% are on board? And at the same time, I'm someone who's a little skeptical on assault weapon ban. I'm not really for it right now. That being said, after what I just saw again, it changes your mind. So I think there's a lot of people that are like where I'm at, where they're kind of more in the middle of like, we need to fix it. We don't need to be crazy about it. We need to bring people together on the issue and not divide us further so that we have more of these violence. And there's a second part too, which is mental health, right? Like we need these kids, these individuals that generally are younger men, white men, they tend to be, but it can be younger men of all races, obviously. That something has happened to them psychologically when they were in high school or in college. And there needs to be treatment that prevents this so that we don't have these incidents in the first place. There's so much that can be done. Question is, are we going to go do it? Or are we going to allow ourselves to be regressive, which I don't think we should. So.
Yeah, I agree, dude. Completely agree with you. And it's just a bottom line, man, is you got to get rid of the dirty Dans from this world, bro. Too many of these dirty Dans and pinheads running around fucking freedom of America. America first, America second, America last.
Yeah,
America all the time. It's like, I get you have pride in your country, bro, but
they don't really mean America first, though. That's not what
they need me, and my fucking people first. My gun first, my right first. It's like, all right, dude, how about, and bottom line, I look at our Constitution as, I look at the Bible. The Bible is outdated. The Constitution's outdated. So how do you remedy an outdated thing? You amend and progress and fix.
You amend.
Simple as that.
That's part of the process.
Simple as that. People just aren't willing to do it because they're so stubborn.
Yeah, and we've amended it so many times before. It's not a new thing. And this is the other thing about it, is to make it known that this is not a new thing. This is, and the reason why it's considered new is because for generations we haven't done it. Right, like it was done a lot in the 60s and 70s. Now it hasn't been done for a while. So generations aren't accustomed to this idea. But I still think you can communicate it in a way that brings the people together, that you can communicate it in a way where you can say, we're going to do things. We're not going to restrict anyone's ability to get a gun legally. We're going to restrict criminals from getting the gun. We're going to prevent people who have mental illness from getting these weapons. That's what we're going to do first. And I think that if you can do that, bring people together on the issue, I think people are there. I think it's just about really using that power, having the political will to do something that I would say we need to stop saying we need to radically change. No, we need to stop the radicalism. We need to stop the radicalism. We need to flip this notation on this head that what's happening right now is somehow average, normal, and the way it goes, and that we're trying to change it. No. It's been changed, and we're trying to fix it. That's how we need to address this problem. I wish more people in government spoke like that, because it's more connectable with ordinary Americans. When you tell them what's happening in the United States is radicalism at its worst, we need to stop it. That's how you bring people on your side. I think more people need to do that.
I agree, man. I agree. I don't even want to respond to that because I agree. That's the thing I would have said too. But yeah, bro. Then just one more little quick thing I want to hit on is we had opening day baseball.
Yeah.
It's great, man. New season. Got some fans in the audience, 30% capacity for most stadiums, which is interesting to see how the whole COVID thing plays out. People are getting more vaccines. You know, Biden keeps saying May 1st, everyone's going to have it available to them. And then by 4th of July, we're going to be able to have these barbecues as families and everything like that. And I think that's something to look forward to. Hopefully the baseball season helps with that as well, just engaging and watching these games and America's pastimes back. And I wanted to ask you, what are your predictions on the season? Just like, give me just two teams that are going to be in the World Series. Who's going to win it?
Padres, Braves. I got the Padres winning the
Well, that's the Padres.
Oh wait, they're the same. They're both in the NL.
The NL, yeah.
Okay, sorry. Padres win their division over the Dodgers, but they'll play the Braves. God, this is a tough one. I don't want to say the Yankees, but I'm going to say the Yankees just because they're there. So I think Yankees, Padres, and I'm going to go Padres.
Okay, I like it. I kind of agree with you there. I hope as long as the Dodgers lose, I don't give a shit who wins. Bottom line, because I know my Giants aren't going to win this year, but we'll definitely be competitive for sure. So my prediction is, I think out of the AL, it's between the Yankees, the White Sox. I think they're going to have a really good year.
The White Sox are interesting too. Yeah,
they're young, but I think they're going to have a good year. And then, the AL's kind of gotten weaker. You know, now
the NL. I think the NL is strong.
NL is way strong. Yeah. Like the AL Central is Detroit sucks. Cleveland's not gonna be as good. Who the fuck else is in that division? Royals. Cubs are in the NL. Royals. White Sox. Whatever. Anyway, that division is definitely. I think the White Sox should run away with that.
Yeah.
So
Oakland's in the AL.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the Central. The AL West is A's, Astros, Angels, who just need pitching, and they can get trapped in the goddamn playoffs.
Yeah. If they get them in the playoffs, and they can make
Rangers. And dude, it's like. And I think the Yankees should win their division. Rays won't be as good. Boston's lame. Blue Toronto is going to be good. They just aren't pitching, but they'll be good, competitive. The Mariners out of the West, they're a mess. So I think the Angels could win that division. I think they are going to win that division. I don't think the Astros are as good. I think the
Mets got a shot.
I think the Braves will win the division, but the Mets will be good. They have good pitching.
Yeah.
And if Syndergaard comes back, that'll be a big difference maker as well. Because you got DeGrom, Zach. Oh no, he's on the Phillies now. See, the AL East, I think, is probably going to be the toughest division. The Braves, the Mets, the Nationals, and the Phillies, and the Marlins in the playoffs. Those are 5 potential playoff teams right there.
Yeah,
that's that. But then you got the West, the Dodgers, and the Padres.
Yeah.
And then my Giants and Diamondbacks
just chilling right there,
and the Rockies. But, a lot of competition in the NL this year, more so than the AL. I definitely think that's true. So remains to be seen. It's going to play out. I'm hoping for the best. Obviously, I think that you're right about that. Yankees Padres sounds pretty reasonable to me. I'm going to have to agree with you there. And go Yankees and go Giants. But yeah, bro, it was a good show today. I had fun. I hope you had fun too.
Of course.
It was a pleasure with you, my brother. And everybody in the audience, I hope you enjoyed as well. I hope you're healthy and safe out there. I hope everybody's getting their vaccine soon and kind of finding some sense of normalcy in their lives. But at the same time, please be aware and considerate of others. Obviously, do what you got to do follow the regulations that you got to abide by, be a good citizen at the end of the day, respect everybody else. And for everyone that's interested in listening to Savante and Daniel's music, please support. That's our show. We love to show support to people that we care about, people that we see have drive and vision and goals and aspirations in their life. So let's help them achieve that. And hopefully the world will give back to you through your generosity and openness to that. But the links will be in the description when this is posted. And again, thank you everybody. Have a good weekend. Happy Easter and happy life.
Happy life.